Anders Zorn, the 19th century Swedish painter who became one of the most formidable portraitists of his time. He's widely known for his brilliant oil paintings and confident brushwork, but what many people don't realize is that he actually began his professional career working in watercolor. For the bold oil portraits, before the limited palette that made him famous, there was watercolor and a deep understanding of drawing, value, and restraint. Today, I'll be working inside Rebelle, using its watercolor engine to explore Zorn's thinking. Rebelle's watercolor system is incredibly responsive. It allows for natural pigment diffusion, adjustable wetness, opacity control, and a wide range of brush behaviors that closely mimic traditional watercolor. That flexibility makes it the perfect environment to study a master who understood the medium so deeply. What makes Zorn so compelling isn't just technique, it's clarity of thought. Drawing first, value second, temperature third, and detail last. So today, we'll first copy one of his works, analyzing how he thinks, and then apply those lessons to an original portrait. I first started with a very basic sketch of the figure, just to establish placement and proportion. Nothing refined, just enough to anchor the structure. Zorn never relied on excessive line. He thought in terms of mass, and watercolor demands that same confidence, because once you place a wash, you commit to it. Inside Rebelle, I immediately begin with the blue background. One of the things I appreciate here is the ability to control brush wetness. In traditional watercolor, the amount of water determines how pigment flows, and Rebelle simulates that beautifully. Increasing wetness allows softer diffusion. Decreasing it gives you more control and edge clarity. Zorn understood that backgrounds are structural. They're not filler. They frame the head and establish atmosphere. Notice how the cool blue sets up contrast against the warmth of the figure. That's temperature thinking, not decoration. One of the key rules of watercolor is that we don't paint the white. The paper is the white. In Rebelle, the digital canvas acts the same way. The untouched surface becomes your highlight. So from the very beginning, I'm preserving light shapes. I'm thinking ahead, because once those areas are lost, they're very difficult to reclaim naturally. Zorn prioritized value over color. If you squint at his paintings, they still hold together. The light side reads as one clear mass, and the shadow side reads as another. Even in watercolor, which feels fluid and spontaneous, structure must come first. Rebelle helps reinforce that thinking because you can build transparent washes gradually. You can lower opacity, layer pigment carefully, and let previous washes remain visible. And that transparency is essential. Watercolor is about building darks slowly, not jumping to them. Another key principle in Zorn's work is edge control. He understood that edges guide the eye. In Rebelle, adjusting brush wetness and pigment load allows me to create lost and found edges naturally, letting some areas bleed softly while keeping others more defined. Remember, sharp edges attract attention, so he reserves them. And that hierarchy is essential. Zorn's economy of brushwork is something I'm constantly thinking about here. He doesn't overwork passages. He places a stroke with purpose and leaves it. Watercolor punishes overworking. The more you disturb a wash, the muddier it becomes. Even digitally, Rebelle maintains that behavior. If you keep reactivating wet pigment, it blends and softens, so restraint becomes critical. Drawing accuracy underpins everything. Zorn had academic training. His proportions are solid. His head construction is clear. But he doesn't describe anatomy obsessively. He suggests form through value shifts. And that is important. Watercolor thrives on suggestion. Instead of modeling every plane, he groups them. Instead of blending endlessly, he lets values meet cleanly. What I'm studying here isn't just surface appearance, it's hierarchy. Large shapes first, value relationships locked in early, temperature contrast supporting the structure, detail only where it serves the focal point. That mindset is what I want to carry into the original painting. Now moving into the original portrait, the goal isn't to imitate Zorn stylistically, it's to apply his principles. Again, I begin by organizing the painting into large value shapes. In watercolor, and especially inside Rebelle's watercolor engine, the first washes matter enormously. They set the foundation for everything that follows. One of the most powerful watercolor rules is working light to dark. We preserve our lightest lights, then gradually deepen values in controlled layers. Zorn thought the same way. Even in oil, his paintings are built on strong value grouping. So here, I'm constantly asking, does the painting read clearly from a distance? Rebelle's brush variety becomes very helpful at this stage. I can shift between softer diffusion brushes and slightly drier brushes for more control. Adjusting opacity allows me to build tone gradually instead of jumping to full saturation. And that gradual build mirrors traditional watercolor technique. Another lesson from the copy is commitment. Zorn placed bold shapes confidently. He didn't hesitate. It's easy in digital painting to endlessly adjust, but watercolor thinking requires decisiveness. Even in Rebelle, if the brush is wet, it will flow, it will react. So you have to anticipate that. And that anticipation is part of experience and mastery. Temperature contrast becomes very intentional here. Instead of adding more color, I focus on relationship. Zorn often worked within limited palettes. That limitation creates harmony. In watercolor, too many colors can quickly create mud. So restraint isn't just aesthetic, it's practical. Edge hierarchy again becomes crucial. Not every edge should be sharp. In Rebelle, controlling wetness allows certain edges to dissolve naturally into the canvas, which keeps the painting feeling alive. If every contour is defined, the painting stiffens. Zorn allowed abstraction in secondary areas, garments dissolving into expressive strokes, backgrounds remaining atmospheric. That looseness supports the focal point. One challenge I noticed in this original is time. The longer you work in watercolor, the more temptation there is to refine, to perfect. But Zorn teaches us restraint. There are moments where pushing refinement can start to break apart the larger shape language. When small adjustments begin competing with the big value structure, the freshness starts to fade. That's something I'm reflecting on here. The copy feels direct, bold. The original while structurally stronger because of what we learned, could perhaps retain more of that initial looseness. And that's part of growth as a painter. Every painting teaches you not just what to add, but when to stop. Ultimately, what copying teaches isn't just style. It teaches decision making, and it teaches prioritization, and it teaches, I think most importantly, confidence. When we place these two paintings side by side, the copy and the original, the influence becomes clear. The copy helped clarify Zorn's thinking, simplify, commit early, protect your lights, control the values, use temperature intentionally. Rebelle's watercolor system makes that exploration incredibly natural, from wet diffusion to controlled opacity and brush variation. It allows you to practice traditional watercolor principles in a flexible digital space. The original becomes a test, not of imitation, but of understanding. Studying masters like Anders Zorn isn't about copying brushstrokes per se. It's about absorbing principles and allowing them to shape how you think. Thank you for painting along with me, and I hope this exploration of Zorn's approach, combined with Rebelle's watercolor tools, gives you more clarity, structure, and confidence in your own portraits. That's it from me. Stay in the paint.